Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. Welcome back to my garage here for Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. It's my first garage. I'm working on this in expert level, however, to give myself a challenge. That's for sure, so there'll certainly be some fumbling about you're going to see here. So last time we were together, I went ahead and let me give you the update of where we're at. And we're up to level 11. But we've got nearly 400 XP, or 4,000 XP, I'm sorry, that we need. So, I haven't done a story car in a while. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's take this order. And let's see what we've got. Alright, so when driving through a city, I didn't notice a speed bump. Please check the front suspension because I have an impression that something is not right. Given the amount of parts they need, yeah, I'd say that's probably pretty true. So let's get this on the test path first. A little bit of quick movement. I keep trying to get a little better with that, but I'm certainly struggling, that's for sure. So I'm assuming I'm not going to see anything wrong with brakes or anything like that, but the test path has us check it all. I think because there's so much going on with the suspension, there's only so much that can be checked here. We'll see how many parts we get found on the test path. I may go take this out on the track too and give it the full run through. To at least see as much as I possibly can of what's going on there. Yeah, there's only 6 parts there, so obviously there's more going on than we can see here. Sometimes if you're not pointing in the right direction, it doesn't work very well. Alright, so I want to go toward the garage entrance, and we're going to take this out on the track. So I think that's going to be the next best thing to get what we need here. So I'm going to take this car. But we've got that suspension test, and the slalom test might give us some information as well. This car makes a lot of noise for only going 75 kilometers an hour there. Not going that fast, but... So we'll run the slalom. That'll give us a little bit. And the bushings, I think, got sensed in the other one. So usually there's a bunch of bushings that are bad in a lot of suspension work. Alright. I think I missed this again. Oh no, I didn't. There we go. It always seems like I went the wrong way. So this is hopefully going to give us some more indications. This seems a little better, because I think this will test the shock absorbers and things like that, where I'm not sure that the test path does that, although you'd think with the shaking and the vibration that it would. Not as familiar with that. Alright. Alright, there we go. So, 8 parts there, so all the tie rods on the front. We've got the 2 sway bars and the front axles, so pretty much everything up front looks like it's been destroyed. So I think at this point I'm not sure there's anything else I'm going to be able to determine. Hopefully that'll be the full list. But let's get this up in the air, because I don't know that there's much that I need to get at from the engine compartment. Let's take a quick look at the status. So we do have a couple parts not discovered. Interesting. That's always fun. Alright. Well, I need to get the wheels off. Don't know what I was thinking there. So we'll let's do that. Shouldn't have to take the brakes off unless there's like one of the knuckles or something is bad. But I don't know that that would potentially be a suspension problem or not. I'm trying to remember, did it have the shock absorbers? Yeah, it does. Alright. So let me get some of the parts I do know about. So we'll go to suspension. I think it was front shock absorber A. Needed 2 of those. Then we needed the drive axle C, 2 of those. I believe those are the right ones. And then the tie rods. So, whoops, well, I'm there. Looking for the inner, but that'll work. There it is, right above it. Alright, now the sway bars were, okay, so both lower suspension arms, both caps, okay, and then the sway bar, oh, the front end links, okay, I know what those are. Those are the little vertical pieces here, so we need both of those. We need the lower suspension arm. Lower, lower, there we go. Lower suspension arm. Okay, and then the shock absorber caps. There we go. So we need both of those. Wondering if we need the springs too, but we won't know until we remove the shock absorbers. So let's see what we can do here. It's possible the bushings or something will become obvious. So that's the sway bar. Then we need this. Then we'll get the shock absorber assembly. This will get the axle. Okay, and then we need the tie rods. I was going to say we've got everything on this side, I think, but we don't. Okay, doesn't look like the steering rack. Is it the radiator? That seems like a weird one, but wow, that looks really bad. So we're going to assume... Alright, somewhere, somehow, it's not giving me... Oh, no. Oh, I can't take that apart from underneath. So it may be. I'm going to assume it's the radiator. I wonder if I can inspect that from here. I doubt it. But let me try. Examine. No, it's not going to let me. Alright. Let's turn around this way. Take the axle off. Sway bar. Shock absorber assembly. And then the tie rods. Alright. Well, let me go get this taken apart, because that will help. So I want to separate. So yeah, the spring looks fine. So I just got to remember that those are 80% springs in case I have new ones, so that I can put the same type of thing back together. Take the part there. Separate these. Okay, they're both 80. Not quite done yet. Alright. So now we're going to reassemble. We got our shock, our spring, and our cap. I'll get that together. A little too fast again. Alright, and then join parts again. New shock absorber, the old spring, the old cap. or the new cap, I should say. I'm going to have to sell my old ones. I think I'm getting a few too many old parts, and then that's when I might be putting newer parts on a car than I need. Alright, so let's go here, go into part mount mode, get the lower arm. Okay, the bushings are good. So it's not going to be that. My guess is when we go back in, when we're done with all this suspension, it's just going to still be telling us there's 2 unknown parts, but I think it's going to be something to do with the radiator. Could be really wrong. We'll find out. Alright, so we got that set. Let's see. There we go. I got a cleaner view of the sway bar there. Get the axle. Did buy the right one, that's good. Alright, and then we get the wheel on. So again, let's get a nice view here so that we can do the star pattern for putting this on. And then we'll go do the other side. Alright, get the shock absorber on. Sway bar. And lower assembly. And the bushings are good. So we've got that, we've got that. Get the axle. And then the inner tie rod. And the outer tie rod. And then it's going to let me do the wheel. Again, get a good view. Torque this down in the star sequence so that the wheel hopefully is mounted correctly. And let's take a look at what we've got here. So yes, 2 parts still undiscovered now. If it's not the radiator and the fan, I'm not sure. There might be things in the back. I obviously didn't look at that. But let's see. So if I take that off, now let's take a look. Yep, so the fan housing, so radiator A and fan housing B. Whoops. Radiate, that should be enough. Radiator A and fan housing B. So the fan itself is okay, it's just the other pieces. So there we go. B1, B2, those are good. That should do it. So I think we're going to be all set here. Car status. Alright, so not too bad for his problems there. I'm thinking that wasn't a 4000 XP job, though. Got us close. Got us really close. But it wasn't too bad. It only took us about 15 minutes, so we can certainly grab something else here. Yeah, the next... Oh, that's not the next story job, but... Pulling to the right, it's... Yeah, we're not going to do that. Let's see. This might be more than we want to chew, but... Let's try. Just an interesting looking thing. I mean, who doesn't want to work on this, right? It's like an El Camino with a homemade camper on it. What could be better, right? Alright, so they need filters. That's easy enough. A knocking noise. Okay, filters, engine power, which probably means I can't put it on the test path, and cannot start the car. Let's see, can we tell right away? Because if it's something simple like the starter or something, maybe it's the distributor cap. That looks pretty bad. let's see. That, I think, is the power steering pump. This does not look good. So let's get this removed. You know what? Before I do that, I wonder if it's going to let me test now. Card doesn't have an OBD port. But if I can do the compression tester, that might give me some things. So let's see. Alright, so we've got a bad piston, a piston ring. Ooh, the engine block. Holy moly. Alright. Wow. Alright, well this is a full disassembly, so this one's going to take a bit. So strap in here, folks. Because that's going to require us taking pretty much everything off. So that's certainly a bigger job than I expected, and the ignition coil is then likely the problem. Alright. Oops, I gotta take the clips off on these. Alright. Let's see. I'm gonna try to mount this back because I'm wondering if I do the ignition coil, which I think is what that is. No, that's the distributor cap. With a bad ignition coil, it should run, but not potentially with a distributor cap. So I'm going to try this because if I can get the car started and get it on the track, I might be able to get some more info. I don't know. Let's see. And the ignition wires, well, that would certainly be a reason it can't start. So let's see. Wires. Oh boy. Let's make sure we've got the right thing here. V8. Alright. Just a plain V8. No overhead, no nothing. There we go. Alright. So now, let's see. My guess is I'm not going to be able to do it. Okay, cannot start engine. So let's just get it on the lift. We know it's the engine block and everything. Alright, so this is now going to be the up, down that we play all the time. Let's take a look. We need anything over 65. Alright, so let's see. So the engine power has failed, was the two things we did replace, and the coil is why it won't start. But then yeah, general engine control and repair. So there's just a lot there. But other than that, we've got it all. So there's a V8 OHV for the oil and the engine block. Okay. So let me do oil, V8 OHV. Block V8 OHV, just a plain one. That's a nice expensive piece. Alright, while I'm in here, I am going to sell parts that are below, say, 50%. Let's just get that cleaned up. Alright, so we know we need this. Let's examine this. Alright, that one's probably okay. So I'm assuming it's just the red things we need. I'm assuming this is terrible. Alright, that one's okay, because yeah, I don't know which piston yet, but let's see, because we know it's one. So if it's hopefully on this side, then we won't have to disassemble. Well, we're going to have to disassemble the other side to get to the engine block. Who am I kidding? Alright, so we've got that. We're going to need all these pieces taken off. So yeah, I'm not sure why I'm worried about checking parts as I go. We'll just fix them later. So let's say there's usually 3 on each side. Get this one taken care of. Oh, I think we are doing that. Spark plugs look good. Alright, so this should be the engine coil, I believe. Alright, and then we need all of these to get to the engine block. I don't know why it wouldn't let me pick that. It's thinking I didn't have the right part. The rocker arms, I believe, is what those are. It looks like we've got, I think those are valve rods. There's a dark one over there, so that's probably something I need to do as well. Alright, so these should come right out. Move over a bit so we can see. So that one might be in good shape. But this is the one I'm talking about. That one looks pretty bad, although I guess it was just the top. Alright. Oh. I don't know. Didn't mean to do that. I don't think I've ever looked at the dipstick that way. Who knew you could even do that? Not me. Oh, the manifold. Yeah, the exhaust doesn't look great, but it doesn't look terrible. One more here somewhere. Come on. It's gotta be right there, no? I can't see. Ah, that one. Okay. Now can I get this off? Yep. Alright, and then we've got that. What's missing? Nope, that one up there. Alright. Well, that's a new piston, so it's not that. But man. Still have not discovered the knocking noise. It's a piston ring. Let me see. Those are yellow, so I guess it's not those. But again, I need the whole engine block. Yeah, can't take that off up here, I'm sure. Alright. Ah, maybe the knocking sound is that rocker arm. Let's see. Knocking noise. Yep, there we go. Alright. So the good news is we're finding the culprits. The bad news is we've got a whole engine block to get at, which means we've got to pretty much disassemble everything, including the gearbox. We've got a lot going on. I don't understand why it's not letting me select these. Alright, I'm guessing we're going to have some more of those that probably, because yes, there was one valve rod. So I'm guessing there's at least one more over here that we need, but looks like the spark plugs were just done, even though the ignition wires were not. Alright, whoops, no, the manifold. I realized it as soon as I started, and then I'm like, wait a minute, but I was already holding the mouse button down and got myself stuck there. Alright, Get these. Get these. Alright. God, those don't look great either. Alright, so that's the bad piston. So we'll keep track of that, just so we know. Oh yeah, gotta get the fan off first. Oh yeah, yeah, can't see anything. Alright, now we should be able to get the belt off. And the pulley. I think we're going to have to take this off anyway to get to the engine block. So let's stop kidding ourselves that we can somehow leave things alone. We know that's not true. It should be just 4 bolts. Alright. Can I get the cover off now? Yes, I can. Alright. Oh, timing belt first, timing chain. What am I missing here? Guess it just wasn't selected right. I think that's just part of the engine block. We're gonna need this off. That's the alternator. Anything else? Or are we free and clear of the engine other than the gearbox and stuff, which I can't get to except from underneath, because yeah, I'm gonna have to take this off. But yeah, I think it's now time to lift this up. We have enough clearance in the bay here, but I'm sure we do. I think we've had a caravan up here before, or a RV, so alright. I'm gonna have to drain the oil, but they want the oil changed anyway. So let me get this over to the lifter. Drain that out. Move that back. Get this oil pan off. There we go. It's always hard to see. Is there another? Interesting. Oh, it has 6. I am not used to that. That is a different oil pan. Alright. So, gotta get all these off. So yeah, just a lot of work on this one. That is for certain. Alright, and then we need all these to get the pistons loose. That's those. I think I've still got this one. That one's almost going sideways the way it looks. Just, I'm sure the angle that I'm underneath the car is the problem. Alright, now can I get... I was going to say I can't do that until I do the other parts. I'm sure I probably need to get the drive shaft off to get to the gearbox to be able to get the engine block out. Like there's one back here yet. Come on. I know there is. Alright, well, maybe I got them all. I guess I did. I'm surprised, I will tell you that. What's on here that I'm missing? There is a starter, which would make sense. Everything needs to be able to start. And I think we've got a few here. Alright. So, this is, as I said, a job. But when you have the whole engine block on, stuff like that happens, right? Alright, now can I... No, I gotta take the pistons out. Goodness. Alright. So, get these. This is the bad one. Other side. What is going on and why? I guess I wasn't exactly in the spot. Alright, and I can't do that because now I need to lift this, get the crankshaft. Alright, that lets me do that. And then we'll go back up top, and I think that should let me do the engine block. So I will say, doing this in expert mode, I'm amazed that if I can do it. Okay, what is not removed? Am I... okay. There we go. Alright. Whew. Let's just take a quick peek. So, we've got that. We've got the knocking boys, or knocking things. Alright. We've got all the parts we need. Alright, so we have everything. I don't know about you. I am a little bit tired. I'm going to take a quick break. Go get myself a drink, and then we'll come back and get this thing done. So I'll see you in a bit. I am back, ready to get this thing put back together. So let us begin. All right. There's the engine block. Just getting ready to put on the back of the radiator, but that doesn't work because that's a different car. There's a fan right behind it here, but that's it. Let me go get the fuel filter, so there'll probably be a lot of this going on where I'm going and installing things and then knowing I need one. Now I have a round carb 1. I'm just trying to remember how this appears. There we go. Round air filter 1 carb. We need that. I know that. Alright. So we'll get the fuel filter installed. Go ahead and get the alternator back on. Alright, this is the camshaft that was the last piece that had come out. The cam gear works. The ignition distributor is good. Go ahead again, I think this was the power steering pump. It is. That needs to be replaced. So let's see, power steering pump V8. That is what we need. There we go. Alright. So We're going to need a piston ring, a piston with a conrod. Let's get that. Piston ring, piston with conrod. Was it? Hold on, let me just make sure it's not a VOHC. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Piston with conrod, just a regular one. Whoops. Goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. I'll get there eventually, I promise. Alright. So the ignition distributor rotor is good. Alright, that's the ignition coil B. I was beginning to wonder where that was, because I thought that was the thing inside, but obviously it's not. Ignition coil B, there it is. Alright, so let's get the, now we need to get the crankshaft in before we can fit the pistons. Can I do that from here? No. Didn't think so. So let's raise this up. A little bit of up-down action here. Whoops, I think I mistakenly selected the tire. Alright, let me get a view there. Mount, crankshaft, alright. Now we can start putting this stuff on. So get the whole gear box and back end together. So this is going to be the clutch panel, pressure plate. And then we need the bearing in the center. Then we need the gearbox. Alright. Then we need the starter. Alright. And then we should just need the drive shaft. And then we'll have the drivetrain all set and ready to go. Ready to be completed. Alright. So I can't put the oil pan on yet because I gotta close the pistons up and all that. Alright, so now I should be able to mount the pistons. There we go. It is on this side, so we should be okay. I'm hoping it won't matter what order I put them in. I'm just going to now insert the rest of these. Just double check. It may still not be showing that it's done because we haven't replaced the particular piston ring. So we'll see when all of these are back how that works. So hopefully now we're good. Piston rings, okay. Alright, we need 2 valve push rods. No, wait, the crankshaft bearing cap. Oh boy. Oh wait, no, that's probably over here, maybe? I don't know. Let's see. Crankshaft bearing. Oh, that's one of those. Never mind. Okay. And then we need a rod. There may be a lot of those. No. Valve push rod. We need 2 of these. Hoping it's not any of the V8 ones. So we need the engine head cover BV8. Let's do that while we're... Engine head cover B. Alright, there's B, V8. Where is it? Here? Yes. That doesn't seem right. Let me look at that again, because that looks like a different engine head cover V8 OHV. I'm glad I checked. Okay. V8. Okay. That looks right. Because this has another plate that goes on top of it then. I've certainly seen that before, and I'm like, yeah, that is not what I want. Alright. So I need to get, I think, this in to be able to then put in the spark plugs. So, got a few things to crank down. Get the manifold attached as well, so that I kind of get the huge amount of bolts tightened down there. Alright, and there we go. There are our spark plugs, which should just all be fine. Alright, and now we're going to have these. So we'll get all the rods in place, we'll get the rocker arm, and then hopefully everything will work as it's supposed to. I think I do need one of those, so let me get that. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be working properly. Alright. So, put the new one there, just because it's just easier to go through the list that way. Oops. So that was the engine knocking sound. Just make sure we're on the right track. Okay, until I have all of them on, it may not show up. So, one push rod, but not the other. Wait, what spark plug needs... Oh, maybe just because it's not installed, but it looks like I'm going to need a spark plug, huh? Alright, well here's the B cover that I needed. This is what started it all. That was rusty to begin with. Alright. So, let me head on over to this side, and we'll repeat it, and it looks like, again, we're going to need some sort of spark plug. I didn't think there were any that I needed to replace. Alright, the manifold there. So I did see when we went back that we were already at level 12. I don't think we're going to get to level 13 just doing this, but yeah, there's a 2% spark plug, so I guess one of them did look shiny, but was not good. Glad I checked that, because I would have just installed all 4 and been done. Alright. So we get that. Again, let's see. No filters, we don't have the arm, we don't have the oil. Still haven't put the wires on. Oil filter. Alright, so we got most everything. So there are the wires. Oh, that's right, I need to put those in first. It's like, why can't I not get the rocker arms on? But you can't really see the little outlines as clearly with the rusted engine head that we've got there. Or slightly rusted engine head. Alright, so we'll get all these put in, and that should at least take care of two parts, the valve rod and the rocker arm. If it doesn't, we have a problem, because then I think we're down to just the oil filters and stuff, because we put the ignition wire on. So 2 more rocker arms. So just make sure before I close this up. Yep, alright. That's done. And then, yep, the bearing cap underneath, the oil filter, we'll do that on the bottom side. But we'll get this top all put together. That'll take care of the filter as well. The air filter. Alright, we need the intake manifold. Get the carburetor on. Alright, and then the bottom base, the filter. There we go, that's the one we had bought. So I did get that one right. Alright, so let me just look around here, make sure I'm not seeing any parts that look like they need to go somewhere. I think I'm good, other than underneath. Well, no, I'm not. I need to get all this stuff on. Alright, timing chain, timing cover, and then we got the water pump and all that. It just, nothing there needed to be replaced. Alright, here's the water pump. We're going to have the water pump pulley. Does that not get screwed on? I guess not. Crankshaft pulley, that one does. Then we need belts so that we can run the power steering and the alternator and the water pump, obviously. And there is the fan that I started getting all confused with in the beginning. Alright, so now, whoop, we need clips up here on the ignition coil. I'm going to forget those otherwise, just like I did the air filter ones. So let me get that together. Alright, now I think we are done with the engine compartment, other than filling the oil eventually. Alright, but we got quite a bit of work down here. So we need to, whoops, I need to mount, not unmount. So we need to cap all the rods, get the crankshaft done. Whoop, not done yet. Alright, get the crankshaft cap on. That's one of the repairs. Can't see it as nicely as I'd like. Alright, so that gets 4 pistons on. 4 more to go in a V8. I can do math. Can you? I hope so. It's an important skill. Auto mechanics need it. Everyone needs it. Alright. Last cover there. Now we can get the oil pan on with its 6 bolts that amazed me, but I suppose for a big V8 engine like that, I suppose that makes sense. And then we need the oil filter, and we have the right one. Terrific. Alright, so we lower this down, we fill the oil, and I think we're done. So, oil over there. It's getting a little lost because I know the dipstick's in the other place. This will probably take quite a bit. It's a big engine. Alright. And let's just take a peek. The filters are replaced. The knocking noise is taken care of. Engine oil and filter is done. Engine power is no longer failing. We've done general engine control and repair, and we cannot start the car. Finish. Alright, so I know this became pretty long, but I think I'm going to go ahead. I'll start the next episode with the upgrade. I think I've taken too long and probably lost a lot of people as with the length, but that way people can see what the next upgrade is. So with that, I'm going to leave the garage, head home for the evening, and I'll see you next time.